My name is Abbas Delight, and in this live stream, I'm going to be discussing how to build a prayer life, effective prayer life. Number one thing I'll be mentioning in this video is to build your prayer life, you need to be consistent on the study of the Word of God. Because when it comes to knowing God, you have to go through the Word of God. And prayer is communication with God. So for you to communicate with God, you must know the person you want to communicate with. You must know God to communicate with God. So for you to communicate with God well, to have effective communication with God, you need to have effective Bible study life. Number two ways to build your prayer life is by fasting. So fasting can actually help you to build an effective prayer life. You know, one of the things that fasting will do to your body is to kill your flesh. Fasting will help you to walk in the spirit. So fasting will help you to be more focused on God. So fasting can actually improve your prayer life. If you see that your prayer life is going down or your prayer life is not what it used to be, and back on fasting. When you fast, it will power your prayer. So that is why sometimes when you're fasting, you see that you tend to pray more than when you don't fast. So fasting can also build your prayer life. Another thing that can help you to build your prayer life is consistency. You must consistently pray. If you are just giving yourself, maybe you pray today, tomorrow you don't pray, you will not be used to it. When you are consistent to prayer, it will get to an extent that time that you usually pray, if you are sleeping, something will wake you up to pray because you are used to it. Your spirit is used to it and your body has adapted to it. So consistency will help your prayer life. Another thing that will help your prayer life is determination. Determination to pray. When you want to pray, tell yourself that I want to pray and God will help me to pray. As much as God will help you to pray, you must be determined to pray. You must be determined to devote your time to pray, to communicate with God, to study with God. Another thing that can build your prayer life is spiritual listening. That is, you listen to God. When you pray, you give yourself time to hear God. You don't just pray and jump out of your prayer altar. Allow God to speak to you. Give God a listening ear. You've spoken to God through your prayer. Allow God to speak to you in return. The moment you start hearing God, that will power your prayer life because you know that the person you are talking to is actually responding. It will give you that sense that you are not talking alone, God is talking to you. And when God is talking to you, you begin to see revelations, you begin to find results. And people begin to see results in your life. Another thing that can build a prayer life is putting faith to work. What do I mean by putting faith to work? You put your faith to action. You command things to happen. It is until you command things to happen spiritually, that is when you know that faith you have is not little. Until you begin to command things to happen, you will not know that it is not only limited to pastors or prophets to declare the word of God, that as much as you have faith, you can cause things to happen. So putting your faith to work can actually help you to build an effective prayer life. So these things, just work with these things and you will see that your prayer life will change. The number one I said was that you should meditate on the word of God, be committed to Bible study. And I said number two is fasting and prayer. And I mentioned consistency. When you are consistent with prayer, it can help your prayer life to grow. Another thing is determination to pray. Another thing is putting faith to works. If you can work with these things that I've mentioned, you will actually see a change in your prayer life.